On a scale of 1 to that guy on the toilet in Jurassic Park, how screwed are the Denver Nuggets? Yikes. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to our 100% independent NBA channel. So, 3 games last night in the NBA. Well, okay, actually 4 games, but let's face it, nobody watched Wizards Celtics. I don't think even Wizards fans hate themselves enough to watch that one. So let's focus in on the big 3 games last night. We had Denver going against OKC. We had Sacramento and Minnesota, and the Dallas Mavericks taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Let's kick things off with the Denver Nuggets, who are in big trouble. Here's the problem that Denver's got. Taking a look at the box score, you could see it should jump right off the screen at you. Denver can't shoot. After the game, Mike Malone said that he was concerned after losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in free agency about the lack of shooting, and it was indeed a big problem. 18% from 3 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who didn't shoot all that well themselves and still ran away with the game, outclassed the Denver Nuggets. It made no sense for Denver to put together a roster like this around a guy like Nikola Jokic, who can pass the way that he can, despite the poor shooting, 36% from the field, and Jokic still had 13 assists. Good Lord, that's absolutely unreal. But look at this grouping that's out there. Christian Braun, look, he shot an okay percentage last season, but he's a reluctant three-point shooter. Teams aren't going to respect him behind the arc. Dario Saric out there, Peyton Watson, he's not known as a shooter. Julian Strawther, who I like a lot, but he's, again, doesn't have a history of shooting shots. And, well, we all know about Russell Westbrook.
Okay, kid, give it to me.
So what happened? Of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder ignored the shooters for the Nuggets and left them alone on the perimeter. They packed the paint. They tried to make things as difficult as they could for Nikola Jokic, and that was pretty much it. The floor spacing was not there. Jamal Murray shot 4 of 13. Who knows what's going on with him? He had a terrible summer, and the Nuggets decided to hand him a max deal anyway. You know, that's usually a good idea. When somebody looks awful and doesn't look like themselves playing for Canada, the best thing to do is go ahead and give them a full max deal, especially when that person's got a history of injuries. And then on top of that, even Michael Porter Jr., who is their designated shooter, was 3 of 10 from behind the arc. Now, there will be better days than this shooting the basketball, but these problems you could see at the outset. You knew that they were going to have some issues with shooting. Now, they were a low-volume three-point shooting team last season, but you have to at least have the threat of the three ball, and Oklahoma City simply did not respect the guys, particularly coming off the bench for Denver, to space the floor. So they packed the paint against Jokic. They made life as difficult as they could for him. He put up 16 points, and it was not enough. He's going to have to be monstrous this season, and he has the ability to be, but if Denver's going to be where they want to be in the playoff mix, an upper echelon team once again, man, that's going to put a lot on Jokic because he does not have the shooting around him that Denver needs. Now, checking out the Thunder, here's the other big problem. This is the big problem, really, for Denver. They're done if this continues to happen. Look at what Chet Holmgren did. 25 points, 14 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, 11 for 18 shooting. Essentially, Holmgren played at least to a standstill, maybe outplayed Jokic. And if that's the case, it's ball game. Game over. The Nuggets can't come close to matching the Thunder, and that's it. Because the only chance Denver has against the rest of the Thunder lineup is if Jokic dominates, crushes Holmgren. And that did not happen in this game. The rest of the Thunder lineup is simply better, much better than the Denver Nuggets squad. 28 points, 8 assists, 7 boards for SGA. Then you've got other guys chipping in. Jalen Williams didn't shoot very well, but 12 points. You get 15 points from Aaron Wiggins off the bench. When you're getting production from the other guys on the Thunder roster, and again, they have a lot more upside right now, only shot 22% themselves against Denver and still cruise to a win. Yeah, that's a big problem for the Denver Nuggets, and maybe a big problem for the rest of the NBA as well. I think this Thunder team is going to be very good. Now, Chet Holmgren did say that he's been putting on weight, that he's been in the weight room. He said, gasp, that he ate 3.5 meals a day in order to put on weight. He may want to up that to like 5.5 or 6.5. He said he threw in a few protein shakes, but he gets the job done out there on the floor. Again, 14 boards, 5. The only thing he didn't do is hit threes, 0 of 5 from 3, but 14 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Sure glad I drafted him in fantasy. But again, Denver, big trouble. OKC looking really good. All right, let's jump over to the Wolves and the Kings. The Wolves narrowly pull one out over the Kings. The Kings had a chance to win it at the end, but Keegan Murray's 3 came up short. But Minnesota, hey, Julius Randle, welcome to the NBA season after getting called out for not moving around on the floor much. According to Rui Hachimura against the Lakers, said that was part of the Lakers' game plan, was to exploit the fact that Julius Randle sometimes just stands there. He responded with a big game in this one. 5 of 6 from 3. This is everything for the Wolves. This is everything. And I don't mean to harp too much on three-point shooting, but the question about whether or not Julius Randle can play with Rudy Gobert, he has to be able to space the floor. And in this game, he did 5 of 6 from deep. I don't expect him to do that every single night, and he's known as a guy who can be a spotty three-point shooter at best, but if he can at least earn the respect of opposing teams behind the arc, that's going to go a long way towards opening up that Wolves spacing, which did not look good in their first game against the Lakers. 5 boards, 4 assists, 33 points for Julius Randle. Anthony Edwards drops 32, 7 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, 10 of 24 shooting. Not the most efficient night, 5 of 15 from 3, but still 32 points for Anthony Edwards. You know, he was jawing at Malik Monk in this game after getting into it with Anthony Davis as well as Jared Vanderbilt on the Lakers bench. Last game, apparently Anthony Edwards, who wants everybody to know that he is like the next big star in the NBA. I don't know that he's quite on that level. He's really good, but there's a few guys in terms of coming up in the league that I would put ahead of him still right now. But he wants everybody to know about it by talking trash out on the floor, and I'm here for it. It's fun. Let's keep it up. Keep jawing at people because, you know, it's going to lead to drama. Gobert, quiet night, 3 points, 11 boards, though. 2 steals, got the job done there. Mike Conley is the age cliff here. Uh-oh.
Death stalks you at every turn.
Grandpa?
Well, it does. There it is. Death.
It's only Maggie.
2 for 9, shooting 2 for 7. The hyper-efficient Mike Conley may finally be showing his age, and that's got to be a concern for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Probably going to need to get Rob Dillingham up and running sooner rather than later. Time to throw him into the deep end because I don't know. Mike Conley may have indeed fallen off of that age cliff. Taking a look at the Sacramento Kings. Here's what's great about Sacramento and their addition of DeMar DeRozan, and you can see it. 12 of 14 from the free throw line. They struggled from the free throw line last season. We're the worst free throw shooting team percentage-wise in the NBA last season. Now they get DeMar DeRozan, who not only is a highly accurate free throw shooter, but is a high-volume free throw shooter. So you look at this game, and I think this is actually a good thing for Saints to come for them. 80% from the free throw line with DeRozan getting there 14 times. That will get the job done. 17 points from Malik Monk off the bench. De'Aaron Fox does his thing with 11 assists. Only 15 points. Maybe that's a little bit low, but Keegan Murray, who's such a big part of this team's future, 5 of 10, including, unfortunately, the missed 3 at the buzzer to win the game, but 11 boards, 23 points from Keegan Murray. Look, the Kings did not get to light the beam in this one, but I'm not worried about this team. I think they're going to be very good. They're going to be a tough team to deal with, and it took a really impressive performance for the Wolves to beat them. Though I will say that they may just want to commit more minutes to Alex Len, who's more of a true physical big. They tried the Trey Lyles thing, and he was minus 14 in 11 minutes. Alex Len was the only bench player for the Kings to not be a negative in terms of plus minus in just 6 minutes played. Maybe want to lean on him a little bit more this season if you are Sacramento. All right, let's jump over to the last big game of the night. And of course, that was the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, and welcome to Dallas, Klay Thompson. My goodness. Look at Klay. 7 of 13 shooting, 6 of 10 from 3, 22 points, 7 boards, 3 steals for Klay Thompson. Warriors fans who were celebrating Klay Thompson's struggles during the preseason are all in their feelings now after seeing Klay have such a successful debut in the regular season with the Mavs. But don't worry, they'll get over it. You've got recess coming up pretty soon. And on top of that, I hear the cafeteria is serving chicken nuggets that are shaped like little ghosts. So that'll be sure to brighten their mood. I'm sure they'll be just fine by the time the bus picks them up to take them home at the end of the day. But Klay Thompson, great debut. He did have an airballed three early, but then shot his way out of a shooting slump and then finished with 22 points. You saw how easy the looks became for Klay, playing off of Luka, playing off these other guys on the Mavs that are able to get into the paint and draw attention. And then Klay just feasted on these open looks, and great to see him knock them down like that. Luka did Luka things, almost a triple-double, 10 boards, 8 assists, 28 points. Kyrie, you'd like to see more efficient shooting, but ultimately, this was the Mavericks just being the better team. Maxi Kleber actually had a phenomenal block in this game, but this was the Mavs just being the better team, and they are trying to prove to people that last year was not a fluke. Them going to the finals was a sign of things to come, and that they are indeed in that upper echelon in the Western Conference. I can't wait to see the Mavs play the Thunder. I think that's going to be a really, really fun matchup, but this Mavs team is good, and they simply outclassed San Antonio. You look at the Spurs, I think this is going to be what the Spurs are. They're a team that on any given night can give you a run, but ultimately probably lack the final pieces to put them over the top and get the win. Victor Wembanyama, for a dude that's as big as he is, did not shoot nearly well enough. 5 of 18 shooting, 1 of 8 from 3. That's the key to slowing him down. Hope that he has an off shooting night from deep. Chris Paul looked his age for much of this, only 3 points, 1 of 6 shooting, 7 boards, 8 assists. New Spur Harrison Barnes, aka the only guy on the team who gets Chris Paul's references, 7 for 10 shootings. That's a nice debut from him. 2 of 5 from deep. Julian Champagnie, I thought he had a really good performance. He was fantastic. 18 points, tied for the team high, 7 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal. He's been on the rise for a bit, and so I liked what we saw out of him. By the way, stock trending down. Keldon Johnson, clunky performance from him coming off the bench for San Antonio. I know the Spurs have looked into maybe trading him in the past. He's going to have a lot better performances than this if they're going to find a deal for him. But that was the night in the NBA. It was a really exciting night of basketball. You had some really good games, especially that Wolves-Kings game, and saw some very high-quality teams. But everybody, let me know if you liked this breakdown. Fire it off in the comment section down below. And also, how good are the Thunder and how much trouble are the Denver Nuggets in? Give me your thoughts on that situation. Don't forget to subscribe right here to the Basketball Bulletin. Until next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.